So, dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. This is our ongoing meditation session. So once we get connected with our other network, we're ready to start the session for today. Okay, so dear Dhamma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So, dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, let's take few minutes from the beginning to understand how this practice will help for us to develop this conventional life and improve ourselves, and at the same time how that improvement take us to our liberation, how it contribute to that liberation. Because whatever that your practice, if it is not help for your end result, then there is no development. Maybe for the moment you feel good and for the moment you feel kind of like you're doing something. But end of the day, there is no development. So that's why always you have to be very clear with all your practice. Whatever the life you invest, out of that investment, you should not get the same result to be in the same place. So the result should take you to the next level. So that's how you can improve and develop the journey. So when it comes to our day-to-day life, it is very familiar for us, this word called detox, detoxification. Why? Because this toxic, behavior in our body. This is accumulation. So as you know, this all the intake that we take, and sometimes there are certain things not going to go out of the body. It's going to be inside, and then by the time what happened, it become poison, toxic. So once a while we have to detox. So one of the way is drinking much water and doing exercise and having a good blood circular system. So those are very natural way of detoxing, and at the same time stay under the sun, and even having go to the ocean and having a bath with this sea salt. So people do many things to detox. And after that, you feel kind of like healthy, relaxed. You feel kind of like new. So physically, health-wise, there are many ways. And there are certain food we eat to detox. And sometimes there are organs like liver, kidneys, and certain food, when you eat it, it cleans that organs. It's kind of like a very deep, it has a very deep mechanism. So somehow, when it comes to our samsaric journey, the life, so one of the important thing is, out of this this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, we always intake informations. We perceive the perceptions. And out of that perception, what happens? We understand certain things, but by the time there are some informations going to stuck inside us. So that it kind of like, so by the time it becomes toxic. And it can be as memory, habit. So then certain memory, once they are, it's kind of like become a hindrance for yourself to experience the moment, experience the life. So then it is important for yourself, rather than allowing it to become the toxic, because once it becomes toxic, it becomes poison. So then you look to yourself, most of time, disease, sickness, the most of time, we gain it out of that whatever from our intakes. So when it comes to that, there are most dangerous poisons, three poisons we talk in Buddhism. Those are the very fundamental poisons, giving this all the disease. Those are greed, hatred, and the delusion. And so when it comes to the delusion, and it is important to understand the very mechanism. So if you detox these informations, and if you detox this poison, by the time what happens? And day by day, you belong to more and more suffering. So suffering going to become result. So today we are go a little bit deeper into this system and see how we can detox it. So the first thing is, we have to understand the very mechanism of this delusion. So the delusion itself, it's a kind of, there are many ways that we can explain it. One is false consciousness, blind faith, wrong believing, and the confusion, deception. So, misunderstanding. So there are many. So what is that delusion? One thing is the wrong believing. So it's about I am, or the self, me. There is a permanent, independent, separated experiencer inside us. And once you have that, from that, with the subject point of view, what happens? So whatever all the perception come to us, we start to understand it with the memory we carrying within us. So that's, as example, look, ourselves, all of us, you and me, everyone, we have our personal experience. So when it comes to that personal experience, today when you see something, with that reference from the personal experience, you understand the present moment. So as example, we'll take bread. Like in our childhood, having bread is something very luxurious. So just imagine then, maybe homeless person, and it is more important. And so for us, the bread has a memory kind of like in our life. And maybe for another person, it's not that much important. So then when we see today a bread, that all of us understand that bread according to our personal experience. So that means if there are 10 people around us, if that 10 people in the history experience the bread in different ways, that experience use in the moment to understand this bread. So then we all 10 people recognize it in 10 ways. The same object. So like then when it comes to our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, all our past experience, our culture, tradition, believing system, schooling system, and our lifestyle, so that everything governing us. And today when we are trying to understand something, we understand it through that background. So then which one going to become right? Because all of us come from different background. And according to that background, we understand today something, and which one going to become right. So it is, even though it is right for the moment for me, we have to know the very mechanism. What is the mechanism means? When you see something, when you see an object, rather than taking the object as, oh, this is it, if you are capable to understand, oh, you are seeing this, you are hearing this, you are smelling this, you are tasting this, you are feeling this, you are thinking about this. So if you know that mechanism, what happens, you are not going to hold it to, or you are not going to clinging to whatever the object that you see. So otherwise what happens, when I see the cup, if I think, oh, this is a cup, And then in the very moment, if I forget I am seeing it, what happens? That all my memory, past experience, culture, tradition, believing system, my background overtaking the meaning of this object. So in that way, we all going to get tangled to illusion. So see that the very important, the delusion is this wrong mechanism take us to understand something wrong. So these two different things. So the very first level, the delusion happen in us. That's a false consciousness and misunderstanding. And that take us to illusion. So the illusion means after conscious interference, whatever the result we gain is illusion. So then with our eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind consciousness, delusion happens. And out of that delusion, with the eye object, ear object, nose object, tongue object, body object, mind object, illusion happens. So the illusion is the darkness. So our misunderstanding is the ignorance. So once you become very clear with this mechanism, you become very careful when you experience something, because then you know that rather than go with the object, you become very careful about the mechanism of the seeing, experiencer. So in that way, you are capable to reduce the power of the greed and the hatred, because the delusion take us to illusion, and when the illusion becomes stronger as a result of that, the greed and the hatred going to arise. So how we can get out of it? Because those are the poisons. 3 poisons. How you can detox it? It's a day by day, just imagine 24/7 non-stop. Always information come to us. We can't resist anything. And more than any other time, now we are in a time period, so much information from everywhere. Even you can lost in the middle of the jungle, still you can connect it to entire world through internet. See? So that's why this detoxing method is very important. So otherwise, when the poisons become stronger, what happens? As a result of that, delusion become more strong, dark, powerful, and then out of that, the illusion arise, and it becomes so tangled, and then the greed and the hatred become powerful. So that is what happened day by day in the world, more than any other time. And the ignorance becomes so strong, and the people's illusion become more stronger, and the greed and the hatred also become stronger. Why? Because this detoxing method disappears, slowly disappearing. So then always intake going to happen. So how you can start this detoxing method? There are 5 principles basically can use. It is only one way. There are many other ways that you can detox yourself, your mind, and get out of this the the greed, hatred, and the delusion. So this is one way. In this way, there are 5 principles. So now we are going to talk about that. So one is the mindfulness. So the mindfulness means you in the present moment, knowingly you are the experiencer, rather than caught up in the memory, or rather than depending from the past or the future, and rather than developing the comparison, moment by moment with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, you become alert with the moment of experience. Knowingly you are the experiencer. So in that way, you don't allow that memory to overtake the moment. And other one is love and compassion. And knowingly your life happened because of other people, other things, and you develop the appreciation and the gratitude and humbleness within yourself. So in that way, it will help to reduce the power of this egocentric, self-centered mind. So that is one way to detox yourself. The third one is, rather than repeating or hold it to memory, materially and mentally and physically letting go. You can practice it as an exercise, and at the same time, by the time, you can develop it as an art of living, developing it to digest it to your entire life and renunciation. So in the beginning, you can develop it as generosity. But somehow you have to remember, nothing you can hold in this world, physically or mentally or materially anyways. Somehow things will go away. So then before it go away, it is better yourself, you take a conscious decision, rather than keeping any ownership, release it. And when you release that way, what happened? You gain the freedom. So that is another way to detox yourself. Otherwise, holding, grasping, and develop the poison inside you. So that's the third one. The fourth one is having the wisdom overall generally regarding this conventional life, how this life happens. Just having common sense. Look at around. Rather than tangling with emotions, you become more responsible. So in that way, you are capable to uplift yourself from the greed, hatred, and the delusion. And at the same time, there are, when it comes to spiritual path, there are another basic 3 things to develop the wisdom. And one is listening, or the having open mind. Second one, and developing your mind out of that information. Ability of recognizing and thinking, analyzing. And the third one is the gaining the wisdom out of that practice. Because sometimes we come to practice, we come to read, just reading. We don't develop our mind. Maybe people read, sometimes they're addicted to read books, but they don't learn anything. No, you have to learn something, and out of that, what you learn, you have to gain some wisdom. So like that, Sutame jnana, Chintame jnana, Bhavana jnana. So Shrutame jnana means ability of absorbing, looking around and gaining the wisdom and seeing paragosa, what other people saying, what other people do, how from the ancient time, how this coming, what is the Dharma, what the Buddha said, what the enlightened masters, what the elders, what our ancestors and grandparents, how they used to live, what they practice. And rather than believing it, you learn it, know it, but at the same time you develop your mind out of it and see, is it make sense? If it is yes, then you have to take it. If it is no, then you have to see why you say it is no. And then if it is not work for the time period, maybe it doesn't have deeper meaning, then you have to drop it. And so like that way, through the culture, tradition, religions, and that everything, you take whatever necessary, and then you move forward. And at the same time, you have the ability, if it doesn't work, drop it. So in that way, whatever important, you take it and you move forward. And bhavana mein jnane, and as we know, just thinking, just learning is not enough for us. There is something beyond our thoughts. And that is why we have to develop this critical analytical understanding. Observe something from every direction to the depth and see how things come to be as they are. So then it is not what we think, it is not what we learn, direct experience. The eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, object. So once you have that direct perception, you are capable to gain the wisdom with that direct perception without depending from your past experience. And the fifth one, transmutation. So the transmutation means there is a nature in this entire universe. This one thing change to something else. So fundamentally, everything belongs to that nature. That is what another way we call impermanent. So then deeply observe that and recognize. There is no such a permanent thing that you can hold, you can name, you can put the identity. There's nothing. It's everything. Because this all come out of the heat, motion, liquidity and hardness, and space and consciousness, all the 6 elements. Those are always changing. This always in a flow. So once you recognize that, you are not belong to, your moment of experience not belong to you, your moment of experience not belong to memory or anything, it's just the moment of experience. That is where your liberation happens. So these 5 principles, with conscious decision, with conscious interference, you have to practice little by little, little by little. Why? Because it's not going to happen naturally. But the informations always keep coming because our memory, it has ability to hold, invite for the same kind of memory. So then whatever that you go through, it's kind of like, as you know, in the nowadays, this neuroscience, they talk about this mirror neurons in our brain. So whatever the memory that you have, whatever the thoughts inside you have, it has ability to invite things from outside. So then if you depend from that already, what happened, always you inviting the same kind of things. So then day by day, you go through the same kind of things. So then watch your mind. If you don't want the life that you go through, or if you want to change your life, change the way you think. Don't keep thinking the same thing. It's going to happen there like that way. So then take time to practice yourself, to detox yourself from these three poisons. And so rather than focusing to these three poisons, what you need to do, let it be there. It's already there, let it be. So then you have to more focus to this new information and be with it. And that's why forget about the greed, hatred, and the delusion. Because if you start to think about it and fight it, then your mind start to develop a model about the greed, hatred, and the delusion what you have, then it becomes the model for your brain. Then your neurons start to rebuild the same thing. But let it be. Then you develop the understanding about the mindfulness. You think about meditation. You learn about that. So then your mind start to go with it. Your brain start to develop a pattern to think about meditation. So then these mirror neurons start to invite all the meditation informations around you. And that's how you play the game. Otherwise you can't. So love and compassion. Don't think about how much hatred I carry. Don't think about how much hatred other people carry around to protect from them. Don't think like that. You're going to invite more and more and more hatred. So then forget it. Let it be. Because it is there, let it be. But now you think about love and compassion. And you be with it. It is your choice. No one can block your mind. You think about, may all living beings be well and happy. 100%. Not 99, 100%. Your mind open to love and compassion. So in that very moment, your brain start to develop that. And in that very moment, it invite that to you. And let it go. You don't think about the resistance. You don't think about, oh, this is bothering to me. This is no need for me. I have to let go. That is what most of time people do. When it comes to their past, they want to let go their bitter memories. What will happen then? And they have to think about that first to let go it. So then it becomes the subject. And then you remind it again and again, you think about what you want to let go. By the time it becomes in front of you. So then what you need to do? Rather than what you have to let go, don't think about it. It is there, let it be. But you have to focus to the freedom or the newness that what you want. And in that way, naturally, just imagine there is a very bad, bitter memory that you have, you want to let go regarding one person or a situation. How then, without thinking or focusing to that person or the situation, you can let go it? You think about completely new, very pleasant situation with the people. So in that way, what happens? Your brain start to invite and develop that kind of pattern around you. So in that way, you are already experienced that newness in you. So that's why what is inside you going to happen around you. So then look into inside and see what is you carry within yourself. And the wisdom the same. And if you believe, oh, I know this is the wisdom, this is going to be there with you. So that's why openness. You open to new wisdom, knowledge. So it deeply should come with your conscious decision. And sometimes we like to listen, we like to practice, but we never allow it to go deeper into our heart. That's why it's not we do it by heart. Do it by heart. And that way, you change the pattern. And transmutation. And don't have, so something is there. Don't develop any kind of identity or model or pattern. Most of our unconsciously, we are in kind of like that way. And when it comes to change, accept it, and little by little digest it, go deeper and clearly understand how things change. It is not what you think. Learn to see what is happening. Drop what you think and merge with what is happening. That is where you gain the direct perception. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left and neck, get straight in one line and be comfortable with your posture. So bring attention to your body and scan head to toes yourself and say Sopateva, or may I be well and happy 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable. May my breath be more smooth. May no difficulties come to me. May all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalation and exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. When it happens through the station, recognize it, do nothing extra. Bring attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also, as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance, or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chamni sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya Dhamma Dhamma Patipattiya Buddham Pujemi Dhammang Pujemi Sanghang Pujemi Attaya Imaya Patipattiya Jati Jara Vyadi Maranam Ha Paribunjissami Idamme Punya Kammang Asavakkaya Vahang Hotu Sabba Dukkha Pamunchatu. Bless you.